I find it very weird that Jason Statham's character, he goes from her, you go from sexy ass Charisma Carpenter, Cordelia Chase, which is absolutely a winner in my eyes still, even if she's a little older, to Megan Fox. Look me in my eyes and tell me that ain't weird. Right now, Expendables 4 sucked. Absolutely sucked. This was directed by Scott Waig, who is a pretty competent director. He's done some other movies I like. Surprisingly, the fourth movie in this franchise. This once again stars Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, but this time almost little to none of the original actors are here to be found. And yeah, there's a reason why this one is forgotten about. So before I start tearing this apart, I want to go ahead and get the idea out. Expendables are the world's last line of defense and team that gets called when all other options are off the table, and armed with every weapon they can get their hands on. And so this one, they have to once again team up, and they have to team up with new members and new styles and tactics to give new blood, a whole new meaning to fight off against the villain of the movie, which is Iko Uwais. When it comes to the Expendables franchise, for the most part, these are not great cinema. This is entertaining cinema at best, which they're B movies, and the whole idea of the Expendables franchise was to get all of a series of 80s and 90s early late action stars when it comes to this type of team up with Sylvester Stallone creating the idea and get all these classic action stars together for a hurrah. I love the first Expendables. I actually really enjoyed the second. And Expendables 3, for as many problems as it has, I will say for the most part I did enjoy some of these. I was interested in seeing this, but even with my interest, something told me this wasn't going to be very good. Having now watched this a few weeks ago on the 17th, as a fan of this series, as someone who enjoys the first two movies in the franchise, and I can have some decent fun with the third movie despite its issues, especially with PG-13, I was looking forward to this despite some worries, hoping we would get back on track, and this is so disappointing. This is not only one of the most disappointing movies of 2023, but in a few weeks, in a few days, rather, with the year-end list for comic book movies and such, this is going to be one of the worst movies I've seen in 2023. I don't understand how the hell everything went wrong. I do not know what went wrong when making this movie. I don't know what the fuck happened in between doing this, but someone must have fell asleep at the wheel, because this is one of the biggest gigantic disappointments I could have ever seen. One of the only few pros I can give to this film is, I will say, the score for the most part. I like the musical score. It's not Brian Tyler, but I did enjoy the music in here for the most part. It doesn't match the first two or even the third film, but I think the music for the most part did work for me for a good amount. So I will say the score was good. There is some of the action in the movie that's actually kind of competently well done when you can see it from the cast members. And of the cast members, I think Jason Statham, 50 Cent, Iko Uwais, Levy Tran, and she's the only girl of the group of two women in here I actually didn't mind. I think is actually capable. I think they're the only ones in here I think are actually trying to give a good performance for what is given of them. So I will give that. It's also mercifully short compared to the last one. And this movie, I will give credit, this does have the bonus advantage of having one of my most respected friends, David Abrams, being a production assistant behind this. So I will give credit to where credit is due on that, and I will say, no matter how I feel about on any movie, whether the movie is good or not, or just mixed this, or so bad it's good, I respect that you tried. Unfortunately, what this movie is, what you are trying to do is make up for the biggest mistake you should not have made in the first place, which made Expendables 3 PG-13, which I can enjoy that movie, but it's nowhere near as good as first. This is why we tell you, getting the right people, the rating doesn't make the movie. Set with Die Hard, Alien vs. Predator, this is unfortunately falls into that category because even with this movie being rated R, I will say this: the violence in this movie does not feel rated R. You can't see a single thing that's going on in the action scenes. You can't see a single thing that's going on in terms of the pacing. I will also say the fight scenes are very half-assed in terms of the way they are filmed, the way they are edited, and it just feels like we, compared to other action movies that we have gotten recently, we don't need this. We didn't really need another Expendables movie if you were not going to put in the freaking effort. This movie costs $100 million. Where did it go? Because it sure as hell don't go to the production design and such, because the green screen and the effects, sir, you did not need green screen for this. All you needed was practical action, practical explosions, practical effects. But you wanted to take the easy way out. And unfortunately, that is one of the biggest casualties of this entire movie.
You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself?
Not to mention, I think the direction here by Scott Waugh, who he's done some pretty decent directing work that I liked. I think Act of Valor was pretty solid. I also thought that Need for Speed was pretty underrated. I don't know if the script didn't do him any favors with this. Someone must fell asleep at the wheel, because this is one of the most badly directed films in the series. Again, maybe it could be the script, maybe it's just I had a bad day at the office. Even that doesn't save this, because the direction here is not very strong. And in terms of the action scenes, aside from a few action scenes I like, the rest of the action in this movie is completely fucking incompetent. There are some very incompetent shots here that does not work. And considering the fact that has not been the best, it's been the action in this is very lackluster compared to Expendables 1 and 2, and even the third one. And it makes no sense when you have movies like the John Wick franchise, the Equalizer trilogy, and Mission Impossible, especially Dead Reckoning, which was a better movie than this. Even Gunpowder Milkshake, Mad Max, Fury Road. Yes, I'm going there with Gunpowder Milkshake. Karen Gillan fighting people with cookie jars was better and more entertaining than this.
Relax, girl. I'm trying.
Fast and Furious, The Matrix, Extraction. It shows that action has come a long way since these movies. You have very good stunt people doing work, competently directed action scenes that are well storyboarded, well choreographed, stunt coordinators going from stunts to directing. And those movies were 1,000 fucking times better in terms of the action, because the action in this movie is straight up incompetent.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
And it does not make it entertaining to watch. It's not fun. It's not awesome. It's not even epictastically cool. It just feels very sadly, dully put together in terms of the action. Not to mention, there's barely any actors from the first few movies in here. This movie has no Chuck Norris, no Bruce Willis, which I understand because he was going through some asphasia problems. This movie has no Terry Crews, which I understand why, because of the situation that happened to him. This doesn't even have the Asian girl from the second movie, which I like so much. This has some of the most clunkiest and weirdest in writing and editing I have ever seen in my life. I think is really well done and really boring and really half-assed in terms of the writing, in terms of the action. And it doesn't help that your action is really bad and really incompetently handled. I'm sorry, the writing and the jokes here were not as funny as they should have been, unfortunately. So you really made a deal with the devil in terms of that.
Good riddance to bad rubbish.
Not to mention, this movie also has some very bland performances by the rest of the cast, even from Sylvester Stallone himself. The few pros in the cast, I didn't mind. And it freaking pisses me off with Sylvester Stallone. The guy's a legend. Rambo, Rocky, Tango and Cash, so many great ones, not great ones. It pisses me off that Sylvester Stallone, how do you go from the fact that you turned down Creed 3 over creative differences with the rights, which I understand since it's your franchise that you created with Rocky, but you didn't come back for Creed 3, but you came back for this one.
Alright, this is just bloody stupid!
Fuck you. That is a bad decision. This idea was at its best at the first two movies. They don't even take advantage of this idea. And when you try to have new blood and they don't give you much, it just feels bland. Unfortunately, it just feels bland. All of that wasn't bad enough. There are two big things in here that really took me off. I usually don't mind Megan Fox as an actress. She's not the greatest actress ever, but she can be decent in things you give something to work with. But her as the lead girl here, Gina, she was not ready for this type of scenario. You needed someone better. She tried a bit too hard, and it comes off as very laughable. Which this is the most laughable I've seen of her since Jonah Hex.
What the hell was that?
Beautiful to look at still, but honestly, this should have been Charisma Carpenter as the girlfriend from the first two movies. And I find it very weird that Jason Statham's character, he goes from her, you go from sexy ass Charisma Carpenter, Cordelia Chase, which is absolutely a winner in my eyes still, even if she's a little older, to Megan Fox. Look me in my eyes and tell me that ain't weird.
I never misspelled anything! Not once, not one time!
But the most annoying part of this entire movie, Barney's, the way they have a freaking, oh my goodness, God. Why would you have Barney get killed in this movie just to have him come back here? Stallone even said it was going to be his last time playing. You should have just freaking had him killed off. You are going to go this route to give Jason Statham the keys, the kingdom to this franchise, and have him take over? You should just have did that. Luckily for him, he has the Meg franchise. And plus, no matter what Jason Statham does, good or bad, I respect the hell out of Jason Statham, alright? He's a badass British action star. The Transporter, Crank, The Mayor, so many others I enjoy. Still putting the effort. Any more time on this movie does not deserve it. The Expendables 4 is a terrible sequel that not only you waited too little too late, but wasted the potential of what could have been a great comeback for this franchise. There are some moments of redeeming factors, but between the direction, the action, mostly the green screen work, the writing, the dialogue and such, it is flat out disappointing to see how far this franchise has fallen. It pisses me off even more that you canceled the female Expendables spinoff for this. You canceled the female spinoff of this for this. No. No,
but you wouldn't listen. Right, you stupid fuck. Look at you now.
I'd rather watch the female Expendables spinoff. That may not have been amazing, but having classic and new action female-led stars would have been something interesting. Sigourney Weaver, freaking Linda Hamilton, that would have been awesome than this. So you should have never canceled that in the first place. Those of you who want to trash comic book movies or fantasy films or movies like The Creator or Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning and such, don't make bullshit like this. This movie is an automatic skip it, and I'm done talking about this.
Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. If you want to see more, my channel icon is up here. If you want to see more content from me, all my social medias are right here in this end card. I will also leave a playlist and a video here for you to see what the channel is about. As always, acknowledge me, stay Epictastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.